Welcome to this week's edition of The Heart of the Mule. I'm your host, Jason Ketz, underneath the Taylor Industries canopy. I'm joined here with Jenny's track and field multi-event athlete, Brittany Kallenberger. Brittany, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Let's go ahead and get started here. Just talk about, in general, just your involvement with FCA here on campus.
I kind of started going partially through my freshman year because I really didn't know about it, didn't really hear about it. And then I started kind of coming more and tried to get involved more. And the same thing for my sophomore and junior year. And then this year, when I heard that they were looking for leadership, I wanted to kind of put that on myself so I wouldn't find excuses, come up with homework or something. I would hold myself more accountable on going and just keeping myself more in depth with the Word.
And just kind of getting back to basics, how did you come to have your relationship with Christ?
Growing up, my mom and dad, they always encouraged everybody to go to church. So we went to church every Sunday, grew up in the church. When I came to college, I kind of drifted away from it my freshman year, not going as much. And it was probably in the middle of my season that I kind of realized that I was really drifting away. It was one performance in particular, conference meet. I no-hided, so I didn't place at all. I was supposed to go and win the meet, and it kind of just hit me there that I was so disappointed in myself. I left the meet, I was crying, I didn't want to talk to anybody, I didn't want to cheer on my team. And my mom came and found me and sat me down, and she was like, well, what happened? And kind of we talked our way through it, and then she was kind of just so maybe this was not God's plan for you this year. Have you been going to church a lot? Have you been doing this? And I was just yeah, Mom, I have, yeah. And just not even thinking about it, it really kind of hit home with me because I realized I haven't been. I went maybe once or twice, but I kind of realized I had fallen away from it. And then she started sending me Bible verses and sending things oh, I'm praying for you today, I hope everything's working out. And then kind of as I approached outdoor season, I started going to church more. I started being part of small groups, started going to FCA, and then from there out, I try my best to give everything I do within the sport to God, and I don't ever take anything for granted anymore.
And you just kind of mentioned that a little bit, how you give everything you have to both not only the spiritual side, but also your training as well. How are you able to keep the balance between the two in such a busy schedule that you have being a student athlete here on campus?
At times I do kind of catch myself falling, and that's when I take a minute to go and my mom sends me several sites with good verses, or even that I'll just pull out my Bible and just start going through it and finding verses that I feel I can connect with, kind of help relieve some of the stress. And then I know when I'm on the track, it's time to give it all. And I actually had a bracelet my brother gave me. It's actually in my track bag, but it's one of those energy bracelets that they have. And this one was it wasn't a real one. It was it was a power through Jesus Christ. So it was more of a Christ band. And then on it said have power through Him. So it was just kind of my constant reminder that I used to wear every day. Now I just keep it in my track bag as a daily reminder.
How would you say that your ability to, be able to perform at a very high level, how much do you really bring that all onto Christ, as far as, how much do you give Him glory for what He's been able to bless you with?
I have this, on my pole that I use for pole vault, I made a point, last year I started using all my own poles, so I wrote the verse, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, on all of my poles. And I used to get really, really nervous. So my coping was I would kind of just close my eyes, say a prayer to God, allowing me to give everything to Him, and just kind of to calm my nerves. And then I would repeat the verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, until I would relax and calm. And it's ever I've actually had people bring it up to me before I compete. They'll be why do you bow your head and close your eyes and just start whispering to yourself? And like if I don't bow my head, like I close my eyes and just whisper. And I think people are just not sure, and it gives me a chance to go to them and kind of just explain like how much God means to me.
And not only do you have the athletic side of things with Christ, but how does Christ help you with your studies? You're a double major, both design and draft, and then engineering. You've been an academic All-American as well. Just kind of talk about, how your faith is able to help you with your studies.
Again, that just it goes back to like the stress part of things. If I just get to a point where I think I can't handle it anymore and I'm like just don't know what to do. God says give it all to Him, and just like let Him be like there for you. So giving all my stress to Him and all my worries to Him, it's no longer on my own thoughts. So it allows me to focus more on what I need to do with like studies.
And you kind of mentioned earlier with your mom being a really big influence to you as far as your religious studies. Who else comes to mind when you think of somebody who has impacted you with your religious studies?
My pastor that I had, my youth pastor growing up, I think it started off like the middle school, then he moved up to the high school, and now he actually is like one of the pastors for our full like church. Well, not like the main one, but he like gives sermons. And whenever I would go home, like I still keep in contact with him. He really got me motivated when I was younger. So just kind of having him get me started on things, he made me like want to go to church and really like excited about my faith. And then just kind of being on campus and like having some of my friends be like really strong, like it makes me want to be stronger in my faith, and I want to help get other people to that level.
And you kind of you're having you have the Bible here, so you have 2 verses for us, correct? Yes. So go ahead and give us the first one, and just kind of explain what it means to you, and then go on to the second one and do that as well. So just give us the first one, and we'll go from there. So what's your the first one?
It's actually Philippians 4:13,
okay.
So I was just going to read it straight from maybe. I am able to do all things through Him who strengthens me. And that just kind of goes back to when I started to get nervous. I repeat it until I feel like He was there with me, and I didn't need to be worried anymore. And that's one of my favorite verses. I have a bracelet that I just ordered off of the sacredword.com or org or something, but it's a bracelet that has that verse on it, and that way I can have that constant reminder with me every single day. That way when I'm not on the track with having the verse on my poles, like I have it everywhere else, and like I can say that within campus or just attacking anything in like life, I guess. And then let's see if we can find my other one. So it's Isaiah 40:29 through 31. And it's, He gives strength to the weary and strengthens the powerless. Youths may faint and grow weary, and young men should stumble and fall. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. So I want to say it was back in my freshman or sophomore year in high school. During the summer, I joined a track team. And this track team, like one of the most important things about it was at the beginning of every practice, we would say a prayer. And then at the end of every practice, we would say a prayer followed by a team verse. So the first couple times I came to practice, I was like, that is a long verse. Like, there's no way I'm going to remember that. But then there were little kids who were maybe 5 years old who could recite this entire verse, like word for word, and they got so excited about it, and that motivated me to go and learn it. And now it's one that I have written on a lot of my like notebooks. I have like a postcard I got when I went to this store from Silver City, and then just different things I have it like written on, because before I really came to the meaning behind the Philippians 4:13 verse, this was the one that really hit home with me and kind of got me on the like I will have strength strength with Him. So
When we come back, we will talk with Brittany about her athletic career. She's had a good one so far. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Been doing like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah.
Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. So think before you post.
Welcome to Taylor Tidbits here, presented by Taylor Industries. I'm sitting alongside here with founder and CEO of Taylor Industries, Mike Ballard. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Absolutely. And go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what Taylor Industries is and what kind of services and products you provide.
Taylor Industries is a manufacturer of medical products. Our main thing that we do here in this facility is ECG electrodes, which are used to monitor your heartbeat. If you're ever in a hospital, or say they do a stress test on you on a treadmill, they're going to have them on you to monitor your heart. We also manufacture TENS electrodes for nerve stimulating, and we custom build machinery to do different things.
Sitting here, and recently, you know, the team is back in the playoff, college football playoff again for the second straight year. Obviously, it's only the second year of existence for it, but you know, what are the expectations for the Tide down there in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, the expectations are huge. You know, Coach Saban, awesome individual. And he reminds me a lot of Bear Bryant. And what reminds me of him and Bear Bryant is not football. It's taking young men and teaching them how to be men of integrity and how to make sure they focus on their education. You know, my parents went to school with Bart Starr. My parents went to school with Joe Namath. And I can remember Joe Namath not being allowed to play in games if he didn't keep his grades up and if he missed curfew. That was huge, you know. So they're both coaches that, you know, education is extremely important, and that's number one. And that's great to have a coach that's not coaching for the game, but he's coaching for their life. So that's huge.
I'm sure it was kind of hard for Bear Bryant to keep Broadway Joe under wraps a little bit.
Yes.
Even in college.
And Joe Namath is still a big part of the Alabama community. My parents now live in Pelham, Alabama, and he has a lot of property that he owns around that area. And so he's still a big part of Alabama.
This is Mike Ballard, the founder and CEO of Taylor Industries. This has been Taylor Tidbits.
I choose to be a champion.
I choose to be inspired.
I choose the perfect fit.
I choose Red to experience learning to a greater degree.
Choose Red. Choose the University of Central Missouri.
Hi, I'm Jason Ketz, and thanks for watching this week's edition of The Heart of the Mule, presented by Taylor Industries. If you or someone you know would like to be on the show, email us at theheartofthemule@gmail.com. Welcome back to this week's edition of The Heart of the Mule. I am joined underneath the Taylor Industries canopy with Brittany Kallenberger, the multi-event Jenny's track and field star. And Brittany, you're originally from Lee Summit, Missouri, Lee Summit West High School.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rivalry there. I went to another of the different high schools there with Staley, but you know, and that's one thing, you know, especially for me. You know, Lee Summit West has always just been so dominant in so many different sports. You look at football, you look at basketball, you look at volleyball. Track and field's also up there as well. you know, your career, you were a 6-time state champion, twice in 100-meter hurdles, twice in high jump, twice in pole vault. Just talk about your time as a Titan and, you know, how it's prepared you for your success here at UCM.
Well, let's see. For high jump, hurdles, and the pole vault, I didn't honestly even go to state in the pole vault or the hurdles until my junior year. First time I went, my sophomore year was just for high jump. Not very good performance, just kind of was getting to the meet was like really big deal for me. Then I came back and to win it my junior year and then turn around and win it my senior year. And then not only like did I do that, just having the opportunity and the chance in pole vault to break the Missouri state record was just so awesome for me, and like to get that experience and then be able to come here and be a Jenny and be a part of everything that happened last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of just before we get into that, you're still in high school, you went to the Nike Track Nationals. Just talk about that experience and how you were able to go, you know, to a higher level of competition.
So my junior year, or my sophomore year and my junior year, they had a Nike Track Nationals in Oregon. We got to compete on the track at Tracktown USA, and just getting everything that they had like a break room for us, and then like all the other athletes. The way they brought us to the meet was really interesting. It was based on a decathlon events scoring. And so you only have the 10 events that are in the decathlon that you can actually use, and each person can only do up to 2 events. So I went for the high jump and the pole vault, and then like we had other people go for throwing, the distance, the jumps, like long jump, and then like the hurdles, the sprints. And I think we maybe had 8 people total on our team. The second year, the first year we might have had like 6, so just a very small group. And I want to say we took 4th maybe one of the years, and then just kind of getting to perform on that level with people from all over the US. And then I'll turn around and I'll see them at college meets, and like, because those are the only 2 years this meet has ever happened. It hasn't happened since. And like we got like jackets and stuff to like walk away from there, so it's such an opportunity. Like when you see somebody else, you're like, oh hey, like you were there.
Well, and you know, you just kind of alluded to it, being able to, you know, see people now that, you know, in college. Talk about your decision to come here to UCM.
Mine was actually based more so on my major. The design and drafting program is only offered at 4 schools in the Midwest for a 4-year program of it. Many schools offer like a 2-year program with an associate's, but I wanted my bachelor's. And then on top of that, most of my family actually attended University of Central Missouri, so like my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my mom, dad, uncle, aunts, several cousins. So just kind of so much of my family actually being here kind of also is like, I'm going to live on the legacy. So.
Absolutely. And your first year, you know, was in 2012, 2013 here. You ended up going 3rd place in all MIAA and high jump in the indoor season, and then obviously in the outdoor, 3rd place in the pole vault, 6th in high jump. Just talk about, you know, your ability to be able to adjust and perform at a really high level, even though you were just a true freshman.
It was probably pretty similar to like the state meet, and that's what I kept kind of putting my perspective on it, as well, just kind of individual meets that I did. And I performed at the Summit, which is like a big national pole vault thing where you can come and travel to it and just like perform, and just kind of I kept having to like play it in my head that I was like, I've been this level before, like I just need to do it for my team, go out there. It's like, it's no difference, just perform.
And then your sophomore season, the 2013-2014, you redshirt. Just talk about, you know, that getting that just year of just straight out training and, you know, a couple competitions here and there, but just being able to just keep on continuing to train under the great coaching staff that we have here.
I actually like that. It kind of got me to get back on track. My freshman year was a bit rough as far as the competing and performing based off of how I performed my freshman year. So I mainly just wanted to kind of get out of my rut and kind of get back on track, kind of meet some of my own personal goals that I had for myself, and just kind of figure out what I wanted again. And that was, again, going back to God, just kind of having Him be there for me and just figure out really all in all what I wanted and needed.
And then obviously this past season, the 2014-2015, you were the NCAA champ, you were an All-American in pole vault, you took 6th, MIAA champion in pole vaulting, 5th in high jump as well. You set the UCM record in pole vault at the Missouri Southern Invite with a 12:10.25. Just an incredible season there so far there. Just kind of talk about, coming off of that redshirt season, and you kind of, you were able to readjust everything. It really came together for you.
Yeah, I was very fortunate, and just having everything work out the way it was. We had an awesome coach come in, Daniel Kinsey, and just like the way he was able to work and kind of the workouts he had put together for the pole vaulters just really kind of helped get my head on straight and kind of figure things out. I did everything the best I could. I followed what my coaches had to say and just kind of hoped everything would go well, and it obviously worked out very nicely.
And that was just the indoor season, by the way.
Yeah.
If you didn't, yeah. So we haven't even gotten to the outdoor season yet. So outdoor season now. Again, national champion. Pole vault, you're the first Jenny ever to get 13.15 in the pole vault. You were the MIAA champion. Again, personal best and UCM record of 13.35. 9th in high jump, and then to just kind of put the cherry on top of everything, MIAA Scholar Athlete and MIAA Academic Honor Roll. Being able to cap off such an incredible year, just kind of talk about not only getting another team national title, but individually you were able to accomplish a lot in that outdoor season as well.
Kind of riding off of the indoor high, I just wanted to go out there and perform the best I could, help my team perform the best they could, and just kind of everybody go out there and do what we have been training hard to do all season and with previous years, and just kind of hope everything went into, I guess, like the best. And like, I know personally, I have goals for myself in the classroom, so just kind of like keeping myself at a higher standard there as well on the track and making time for all of it was my biggest goal.
And now, as you're gearing up for now the indoor season this year, again, defending indoor national champion Jenny's track and field team, what's the main goal this year?
We did lose some of our big point scorers, obviously Erica, Madison, Zoe. So it's going to be kind of just figuring out where we are this year, but at the same time we have some people that have really stepped up over the summer, have become a lot stronger, and are training really well right now. So, and as well as myself, we got some new freshmen that we look to see, and like they're going to be very key components of like the whole program. So it'll be just awesome, just see where everybody is and how we all perform together as a team.
All right, well, again, Brittany, thank you for taking the time to join us, and I know you've got a very busy schedule, and again, we appreciate your time, and best of luck this season, and we'll continue to watch you flourish here as a Jenny's track and field athlete. That's it for this week's edition of The Heart of the Mule. I'm your host, Jason Ketz, underneath the Taylor Industries canopy. We'll see you next week. Hi, I'm Jason Ketz, and thanks for watching this week's edition of The Heart of the Mule presented by Taylor Industries. If you or someone you know would like to be on the show, email us at theheartofthemule@gmail.com.